Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all crafting, and just, what it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 103 today.
Yes.
And we have some actual, not that we don't always have fun things, but very innovative things.
Different kind of stuff.
Yeah, gonna be, it's just, I'm hopeful that this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
I have an idea in my head. I'm hopeful that it turns out the way that I think it's going to turn out, and I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, I have some more done on the blanket that I started last week, and I think it's turned out pretty good. So, double-stranded, 10mm hook, half double crochet, and we started with the white and blue, and then the blue traveled up into the brown, and then the brown traveled up into the green, and the green traveled up into the ivory, and then the ivory traveled up all the way up here. I'm still working on it. So right now I'm working on the ivory and the blue.
So you did the more neon green, and then you did a burgundy, and now you're doing the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's just kind of all running together at this point, and I'm really liking this process. Just pick a ball when you get done. One ball has to be light and the other one has to be darker, and so that you've got that contrast, and it's just working out really great.
We were just talking about how I was asking her how much she's gotten done this week, and she was like, I don't feel like I've gotten a lot done. She has, but it's just because we've been dealing with a heat wave, and just navigating how her chore, her hobby might change, and how she crochets, just maybe doing smaller squares and then sewing them together to be able to make it bearable.
Yeah, because
when
right
it gets
now,
hot.
Right now, putting stuff on your lap is, well, today wouldn't be too bad, but it's been so hot that having it on your lap was just this is way too much weight and heat. And she was suggesting that maybe I make some kind of fun squares over the summer, and then in the fall I could attach them all and make it into a nice blanket. And I'm thinking, wow, that, for one, I would still be doing something. Two, it's portable, it's smaller, it's not weighing you down, and it's not on your lap when you're trying to just keep the heat off. Mm-hmm. And there's so many reasons to do it, and so many fun squares you could do.
Well, not only that, not just colors, not just, kind of emptying out the stash, but you could attempt new stitches that you've never done, and it still not be too bad, because a square just this size even is nothing compared to you doing all these big blankets in one stitch.
Yeah.
A new stitch. I remember when you did that tulip blanket, and it was just so different than what you were used to, that I think doing it in a smaller scale might have been a little bit more rewarding for you, because it would have just been this was fun, but I'm glad I did it in a smaller quantity, because if I want to do it over and over again, I could choose to.
Right.
But
put it in the same blanket even.
Yeah, but you could do a flower blanket where you could do different flower stitches.
Yep.
Or blooms where you go from the middle out.
Right.
Those are called the mandalas.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities, and I'm just getting really excited about it. So as soon as this blanket's done, we're just looking for other things to do, and we've got all these ideas for the kids too. So we're just we're looking forward to summer and the crafting that it's going to bring us.
Yes. My mom even got her hair cut because of how hot it's been.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even know she is going to settle for even just this cut.
Right. Well, my hair is naturally curly, and I had it long for so long that when it weighed down all this, so it looked like I had straight hair, which I don't. As soon as I cut it off, it all went back into its curl. So, and right now it's about like that. If I took my barrette out, you would see it. I'm not going to take my barrette out, but I pulled it back. It's all one length. It's a bob. But I pulled it back into a barrette because it's just better for me. It's not in my face. The whole point of me getting the haircut in the first place was to get my hair off my face. So I'm not sure. The hair salon, you know, my hair was almost the full length of my back. And so they said that for me to go any shorter, it might be too much. And I'm just like, well, I'll try it. But if it's not what I want, I'm coming back and you guys are going to cut it shorter. So I'm trying it out for a little bit. And then if I don't like it, I'll just go back and get it fully cut off. But I'm not used to I'm used to the length. I'm used to being able to braid it or put it back.
You can do that with it where it is right now. Still.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it is off my neck. I'm grateful for that. That was part of the reason. But the other reason is when my husband and I go somewhere in the car, he likes to have the windows down and my hair just flies in my face and it's not fun. And I was telling them that, although they still kind of talked me into, well, it's all one length and it's so much easier to do stuff with, and it's like, but that's not what I wanted. So I don't know, maybe even I'll try out a different salon, or I have some haircut scissors coming in from eBay, and maybe Sarah and I will just watch some videos and we'll do it ourselves. You're gonna come along for the ride. We'll see what's gonna happen. You guys will see what happens whenever it happens, and this summer's gonna be a different kind of summer.
Yeah.
We're gonna do all kinds of crafts, including hair.
Yes. Gotta figure out mine too. So it's all good. But yeah, no, hair grows back.
Yep.
It's really versatile. You don't have to worry about it. Especially knowing that your hair is, you know, it has good volume.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to worry about in the same capacity as, others where, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like because of your curl, it makes up for any thinness that you might have.
Right.
Because you have, like, it's not like you have thick hair. You just have a lot of curl and a lot of thin hair and a high quantity of it.
Yeah, and a lot of volume. What I was hoping to gain from this was more of a look. Well, this is secondary. I like the looks of this picture I'm going to show you, but I was more in line with a pixie cut. So this is Maribel from Encanto. Encanto. So that's kind of the look I seconded when
which I feel like they kind of got here.
Yeah.
It's still not all. I feel like it could have been higher.
But and I kind of let go of all the other pictures that I had brought with me. I deleted them off my phone. So I don't have those to show you.
The best way to liken my mom's hair when it goes short is like if you think of a Meg Ryan movie where her hair is short, she has that curly hair and it just kind of like is at her head, but it has those natural waves and it just sits well. Yeah. My mom, I remember when I was a kid, had gotten got her hair cut that short, and her curls just took over. But it was one of those like run your hands through your hair, and it was done for the day.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted.
And I think that that's still something you can achieve. Your curls are still very healthy. Yeah. I think your curls at the roots will literally revive once having all that weight gone.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to even have a problem with that. It's just a matter of figuring out how to cut hair that is curly successfully into a pixie. That's something that I don't know if I know.
Right.
But I imagine that as long as your hair is wet and we have great tutorials and great reference points, we probably would be able to figure it out on our own.
Right.
I'm no professional, but I mean, if 2020 has taught us anything, people are willing to learn how to do their hair on their own desperately in a bathroom just to be able to have some sort of relief. So,
Yep. In 2020, when I had to get major surgery done, my hair was long at that point, and I decided I wasn't going to be able to manage having long hair afterwards, so I cut it myself. And what I did was I just did 2 ponytails, and you make a wherever length that you wanted, you put the bands, and then
you cut above it.
you just cut right above it. And my hair turned out great. It was a haircut I gave myself. Now, granted, it was, again, one length, and it was something I did for myself, and nobody knew the difference, that I didn't go to a salon. And I could have done that again this time. I mean, if I would have known that that's all they were going to do, I would have just done it myself, saved the $30. But I still think that all the stuff that I learned from the salon, from the ladies there,
Treating your hair
about
type
treating
and
my
stuff.
hair and stuff like that is a benefit, and the cost. It all included that. So I was grateful, and it was fun to have somebody else do your hair and talk with you and have a little bit of alone time, and you're just there to get a little bit of pampering done. They shampooed my hair, they did a whole bunch of stuff, and it was just nice. So, but enough about my hair. What are you going to do? What have you got to show us?
Okay, so I talked about how like a week or so ago we went to, it was actually last week, we went to, our littles are having a hard time with some self-control while we film. My parents and my children went to a beach locally about an hour south of us that is pampered with rocks along its shore. And it was really, really fun to do with the kids. And I started to see that there were very specific patterns of rocks, or,
What do you want?
a lot of volume of different types of rocks that were really flat and a really nice brown color. And I decided that they might make a really cool art piece if we kind of puzzle piece them together as a mural. And I wanted to share with you some of my favorite rocks from that trip, plus those rocks that I hope to actually make into an art piece sometime this week and be able to show you next week. Some of my favorite rocks from the trip were some really fun angled rocks that have some really nice like cuts to them, and just you can just see the natural lines inside them. It's just very, very, very fun to look at. I found some that feel like they would make good paperweights, just really fun. Like, this is kind of getting washed out, but yeah, you can kind of see some of the lines in this one. Maybe not so much. It's a white gray color, but it's really cool if you're able to see it without all the, yeah, you can kind of see some of it. Like, it's really smooth, but it's really fun angles, and it just feels like it would be like a really fun paperweight. Hopefully this will be something I'm able to share. This one's really pretty. Yeah, you can see some of the sparkle. It almost seems like there are different layers of, I don't know if it's minerals that just line the rock at very specific points, but then it feels like there's almost rocks that attach to this one, while also on the inside having some of those sparkles that I don't know how that all forms. but this one's really pretty to see in person, and has been like one of my favorites. This one's similar to the first one, but it's nothing but sparkles and flecks in it, while being a very nice dark gray color of a rock. It's just very, very, very appealing to the eye. This one I chose to show you because it's the pinkest one I was able to find. I don't know if it'll show, but it's like an actually, yeah, you can kind of see. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's not going to show perfectly in this light, but it actually has a very nice hue of pink on this rock.
Yeah, it does.
Well, also just the fun of where the lines are and
it goes all the way around.
Yeah, how it's been tossing in the water. Before, like I said, before I show you the ones that I'm hoping to be able to make into an art piece, I have a couple more ones that I want to share with you. This one I didn't really show you, but this one almost looks polished at how translucent this one actually is. If you've seen polished rocks, this one almost meets that level of like slightly translucent look. And I don't know if it's just because of the type of rock it is, but it's very pretty. I got this one. This one's been getting to me. You can see all the jagged edges on it. It's literally cut in several locations, like it's successfully snapped, like possibly all the way through its structure, but like it's not falling apart yet, or it's just come across different surfaces that caused it to be so jagged. But if you were to feel across those cuts, it's like steps. Like you can feel that it's actively kind of janky. And this one, I just like the white color of it. It's very smooth, and it's just, some of these rocks that are this white almost look like the color of bone. And that's very appealing against a beach of sand that's, we don't have white sand beaches. And when you're looking against all these other colorful stones, when you see those white ones pop up, they're just like eye-catching.
Yeah.
And saying that some of these were just such interesting shapes for white, like they just look like there's bite marks taken out of them or something. Mm-hmm. It's so cool. And they have such an interesting feel to them. Like a genuinely interesting feel. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to show you, I collected so many of these, but some of these are just like small little perfect, almost round rocks that are so smooth, fun to play with in your hand.
Sarah's always been interested in rocks, even when she was a young girl.
Like I said, I got like a whole bag of them. I was just wanting to share with you some of my favorites. I got these two. And the reason why I'm sharing with about these ones is kind of because they kind of feel like worry stones, natural worry stones.
Yeah, they're
like the ones
so
that
smooth.
The ones that you keep in your pocket and just kind of like rub your hands on or your fingers across, just as almost like a fidget toy.
Yeah.
Well, some of these, I mean, they're very flat. But like when you rub your thumb or your fingers across them, they almost feels like there's a natural curve in it. And it's like this dome on the other side, so it fits on the other side of your hand well. And this one definitely has that. If you can look, it's one side's the bottom's flat, this side's domed. And when you feel the flat side, it is very like almost well-shaped to your finger or your thumb. You want to feel that, Mom?
Oh yeah, look at that. It works well.
And it's like, I just kept finding these. And it's like, it felt like they were crafted this way. Like, almost like someone intentionally crafted them this way. But knowing that the water has just been taking its time on them is so cool to feel.
Smoothed out all those jagged edges. And now it's all so nice.
Sorry, the camera moved. I was moving the rocks. My bad. Hopefully that still works. I hope so. But it says some of the ones that I'm likely to use. Oh, I forgot about this. Is the ones that I was telling you when we were on the beach that I found all together. Where is it? There's another one. Oh, they look like they snapped.
Oh, wow.
This rock looks like it got snapped. These pieces were all next to each other. I can't figure out how they fit, and I don't know if there's obviously more pieces, and maybe they're not from the actual same stone, but they're from the similar material.
Yeah, they
And
sure look like it.
And they were all next to each other, and so I picked them up because I thought they looked cool. But this one's just so.
I told her to make a necklace out of it.
This one, I found it, and it has a perfect circle in it. It's like, I'm guessing a little creature ate its way through the surface.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it could be hung on something. I almost thought like a wind chime but my mom's thinking a necklace. But like, this doesn't feel like a necklace material, but it sure does look cool, like it would be a pendant.
Right.
To getting to the stones that I'm talking about, there were so many of them. If my mom could share with you that, like, it's just like all these flat brown stones.
And that's the ones I was drawn to as well.
Like, some of these are really polished. You can even see the shine on them. I'm looking through the viewer, so I'm not looking necessarily right into the camera.
But even on the edges, there's no sharpness.
So smooth. So I apologize if I'm not looking right into the camera. We have a viewer that allows us to be able to see what we're filming, and I was looking into that. But you know, they vary in so many different sizes, and I collected so many of these, like so many of these little flat stones that I just, oh, wow.
That was all sparkly.
Yeah, this one has, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it has sparkles in this one. It almost looks like it's chipping away. It has naturally starting to shave itself off. But so many, I'm telling you, like so many of these stones, they look like they are just rolled flat. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited. I want to make some sort of a mural or image with them, and I am excited because I think I'm going to do it with the kids. One kid in particular, I think it might be a friend of mine's kid. I want to do it with her because she likes rocks a lot, and I want to see what her and I can come up with. I got so many of them, and I just cannot wait. So that's my current project for the week. Some of the other things that I would like to share with you guys for this week, I really don't have time for because I just viewed the time and realized what time it is for us here on this side of the camera. But I will share those things with you next week then.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to, but hopefully we have something fun to show you after this is done.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to share with you what we end up coming up with these stones.
Yeah. And we have chosen
A very specific scripture based on the rocks.
Yes, and the sand. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fail, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who has built his house on the sand. And the rains descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. We just chose it because of the rocks and the sand that we found them from. But this is talking about wisdom or being foolish. You're gonna follow the Lord and be wise, or you're gonna not follow Him and be foolish. And great was its fall. If you don't choose to have a steady foundation, great is your fall. So we just thought that was kind of just perfect for the rock solution, you know, the rocks that she was showing and everything.
I know, I know that for me, this story has always kind of been a fun one, because when I was a kid and I learned this story in Sunday school, I thought that our house was going to fall because we have such a sandy land. I didn't realize that what they were talking about was much more metaphoric than literal. But it's just the whole aspect that if you're going to not take the time to do it right the first time, to make it last,
Right.
it's not going to. And if you, it almost feels like, it reminds me of a verse that's found in either Proverbs or the Psalms, that it's something along the lines of, it's like a man without boundaries is like a city without a wall. Anyone can get inside.
Yeah.
It feels like that. It feels like by not taking the extra step, you're doomed to fail. Like and you can see it in so many different areas of our lives where we try to take the shortcut and it just is, it's obvious that it's not going to work.
Right.
But because it's the easiest way, we think that, okay, well, this will work for now, but then it forms a habit that just because we were able to make it work at this moment doesn't mean that it was the intended method and wasn't going to cause us to have a problem. Like pride before a fall. Like, it wasn't the first dig into the sand when you're making your own pit to fall into with your pride that is going to cause you to have a pit to fall into. It's continuously doing it. Eventually it creates a pit that you fall into.
Right.
It's like this one where it's like, it takes time to build a foundation. It takes time to build a house. Mm-hmm. By taking the time to build the foundation first, how much did that really cost you in time? Okay, maybe it took time to learn how to make the foundation and do that. Maybe it took you an extra month worth of building. But then you're secure.
Yeah.
Then you know what you want, or what you want to have for your house isn't going to just fall through the cracks.
Right.
That when things happen that we know life is going to throw at us, we're not just going to fall because we don't have our boundaries, we don't have our things set up, we don't have our faith set up in a way that we are certain and grounded and are able to be able to stand firm. It's like the anchor, the fortress, our ability to be able to recognize the difference between behaviors that are going to be fruitful and behaviors that are just going to fall through the cracks.
Right.
And cause us to fall through the cracks with it.
Right. I forgot to tell you where this was.
Oh yeah.
So
Matthew 7:24 through 27.
Yeah. Yeah. In the New King James Version.
We kind of just ran through that very briefly. I feel like that parable is pretty self-explanatory to any adult, maybe not children that take things so literally, but
like her.
But just as a reminder, taking that extra time, really understanding that making these decisions that we have to make as adults sometimes are not fun. Sometimes it feels easier to take the easier way out, but that added effort makes for a long-lasting foundation, and making for decisions that we make later down the road easier if we make sure that we do not take the shortcuts all the time.
Right. Yep. That's so true.
So
we ask that you like, subscribe, comment, all the things.
And that you tune in for next week, where hopefully this mural is done, and hopefully I am able to share with you with a little bit more time all the other things that we're hopeful to do.
Yeah.
Because we have kids that we have to do crafts with and entertain. And we have some really fun ideas, and I think you'll like. We'll have fun sharing them with you.
This is gonna be a fun summer.
As always, we hope that you enjoyed our video and that you stitch your way
to mental health.